Were the siblings in Gallus able to unleash their breakfast blend of brutality on the reigning champion and increasingly chatty Austrian ring general? Raise your beverages. It's an NXT party.
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 34 of NXT UK. I am your host, the Rated R reviewer Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
And tonight our special guest is the Birdman of Boston. We've got Owen Finch on the big screen. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing very well. I'm the first ever dual champion on the Wrestling Rundown and the NXT No DQ team, being the
Again with this guy.
the champion and the Wrestling Rundown champion. And it's also my birthday today because it's 1:44 on March 15th at the time of we're recording this. So,
Awesome.
Happy birthday, Owen.
Way to spring it on us, but absolutely happy birthday, Owen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Birdman.
Happy birthday to you.
Cheers. We don't have a cake or candles or nothing like that, but
I was about to say that's another first. Jesus.
Yeah.
here's a podcast birthday wish.
Yes. This is
So,
your birthday.
Before you sprung your birthday on us, I was going to ask, how did you like the show?
I really liked the show. There was one match, in my opinion, I thought was kind of a dud. Not really a dud, but just really didn't care much about. But we'll get.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
I think I know two that you might be talking about, but anyway.
But I really enjoyed it. I'm glad they're back in the UK because I haven't been on since they, been back. But because I feel like the crowd's now more into it and stuff. I feel like too it wasn't because it was out of the UK. It was just in a wrestling crowd that wanted to go see Access stuff. If they went anywhere else in the world, I think they would have been fine.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere else in America in a small venue, like Jerry mentioned, maybe in Philadelphia, like
Viking Hall.
Yeah, like ECW. But the fact that they were at a convention where one of the walls of this place opens into just a convention center. I mean,
It's like you see the nacho stand.
Like if you've never been to a convention center, imagine just an airplane hangar, and then you have booths set up.
Yeah.
However somebody wants to set up booths. I've seen all kinds of shit happen in convention centers. It's just space. Indoor space. That's what you're looking at. And you're talking about people that come in and real wrestling fans that are like, cool, I get to see a show for 3 hours. Or maybe they planned their day because they knew what time they were taping this. Something.
Yeah.
They file in and there's seats around two-thirds, maybe a half of the setting. And then other than that, it's just people walking by, leaning on the railing like, ooh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And they try to show you those people as little as possible.
Yeah.
But
also, maybe probably too, people want to meet for example, they probably want to meet Triple H and Stephanie McMahon if they're there because they don't get many opportunities to meet them, but they can watch NXT UK on the network and stuff. So it's probably those types of people that want to go and meet wrestlers they're never going to get a chance to meet ever again. So.
Well, talking about it being in the convention center, it wasn't just the crowd, just the acoustics of it kind of brings the show down a little bit. You can't hear anything going on, and some of the times when someone goes for a slap, you don't even really hear it.
It doesn't resonate in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, all the sound just dissipates out that open.
Spoiler alert, it resonates pretty loud here.
So let's get into today's show because as Owen said, we are back in the UK. This is the second show, I believe, back
in Coventry, UK. Yeah.
And our next show, come to find out, is going to be in Glasgow, Scotland. So that's going to be pretty cool. But we start the show even before the intro graphic, which Jerry noticed something cool about that. We'll get to that. But we've got Johnny Saint and Sid Scala coming into the arena, and they get ambushed by somebody with a video camera and questions.
Yes.
But basically they said, tonight we've got the debut of Kaylee Ray, and we are going to have the Coffey Brothers versus Walter and Pete Dunne in the main event.
Yeah.
We knew this match was coming, didn't know it was going to be the main event, so
there's no way this wasn't going to be the main event.
I mean, for real, yeah, but I've seen him do stupider things. Not really NXT UK, but in general.
They do pretty decent booking, so.
Any thoughts on Sid Scala and Johnny Saint here, Owen?
I thought it was pretty cool to see them back again because we haven't seen them in a few weeks because, you know, they were in Phoenix with Wii episodes, so. But it was kind of, you know, very run-of-the-mill. It was kind of stuff we already known. I wonder if they taped this before, like, you know, last week when they actually announced this stuff, and they just had this just in case they weren't going to announce it or something, because it seems weird they would air this, because it just seemed odd. Like, it was stuff we already knew. They didn't really announce anything new, so.
Did they announce the debut of Kaylee Ray last week, or did they just
Yes.
show another video package?
They showed a video package, but it said, like, next week on it, you know, at the end of it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
I noticed, too, I wonder if Sid Scala, too, is going to be the permanent GM at some point, because he does most of the talking than Johnny Saint is. I wonder if Johnny Saint's there for more name value than anything else, too.
I would
We might
think
have talked
that
about this before, though, but
in this case, Johnny Saint is probably there under a contract as a actor.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't want to have to worry about paying Johnny Saint the money that he wants as a GM after his contract expires, and instead you now shift that role, at least in storyline, to Sid Scala.
Yeah.
At a much cheaper rate because he's Sid Scala.
I see something possibly happening to Johnny Saint, whether something like he falls ill for a period of time and puts Sid Scala in complete control, and that's when Sid goes all sorts of power crazy, and I think that would be awesome to watch.
There's no way they're going to use illness right now. If
maybe,
anything,
like someone, he gets like attacked back, like obviously not like really attacked, but like they do the Batista thing they did on Raw where like he gets not pulled out or gets like laid out by Gallus but doesn't actually show it or something, and we
show
find
the
out
aftermath.
Sid Scala like orchestrated it or something.
I would much rather see a scenario where they open up another NXT expansion like NXT Germany or NXT Australia, NXT Japan, something. It would make more sense if it was Germany and Johnny Saint gets tapped to go start that up because he did such a good job with NXT UK, and he leaves Sid Scala in charge while he's gone.
Yeah.
I would much rather see that type of scenario where he goes on to bigger and better
I could
things.
actually see him going off onto a different business venture. It's like almost like, you take care of this place while I'm gone. So.
Like every time Michael thinks he's going to get a promotion and leave Dwight in charge.
Yeah.
And every time Dwight.
I also wonder if they whip this off of Defiant Wrestling, because I don't know the GM's name because I kind of just watched the clips, but Simon Miller's like the assistant. I don't know who started it first, if WWE did it first or if, you know, Defiant Wrestling did it first, because like Simon Miller's like the assistant to the GM there, and that's kind of the similar thing that Sid Scala and Johnny Saint kind of have going on too, so.
Well, pretty much anything that's been great in wrestling has been done already in some way, shape, or form.
probably.
So.
Yeah.
So our first match of the night, we get 4. Love it. Flash Morgan Webster versus Wolfgang, and both of these guys needed to win here.
Oh,
let's be
yeah.
honest.
Like
Both of these guys needed to win.
It was a rubber match for a match that, like, you know, they hadn't even had yet. Like, basically they're both on pretty massive losing streaks, and they just needed to, like, either one of them really needed to win badly. More Flash Morgan Webster than anything, I think. Because they keep on hyping him and hyping him and hyping him.
Making
But
him look great in this match.
But I'm not seeing, like, the potential that everybody else sees. I'm sorry. Like, he's got the great heel potential if they were to turn him that, I believe. But right now he's a face, but he's a cocky face, and that's just not good.
He's not believable against Wolfgang to get a victory anyway.
Exactly.
Owen, what did you think about the match?
I like the match. I agree with you. I think both guys needed the win, but when I saw, you know, Gallus come out, I figured, okay, Gallus is going to get the win because I expect him to lose in the main event. So I think they're going to make him look strong in the beginning of the show to make him look like a threat. As for Flash Morgan Webster, I really like him, though, but I feel like ever since, like, NXT UK, like, TV shows have started, he hasn't looked as impressive as I've seen him. In, like, one episode he was on 205 Live and the second United Kingdom Championship tournament. I wonder if it's just because he's in, you know, kind of like the, you know, small fish, big pond type of thing now because he's got like Dunn there, now Walter's there, Mustache Mountain's all there, and before it was just kind of a small amount of people having to shine just in those 2 days, so he just kind of stood out based on the rest of them. So, and also in that episode of 205 Live, he got more shine than anybody else did. So, it's really weird because I think he is really good. But yeah, it's really weird. I just think they don't really have anything for him right now. He feels like he's starting to become a jobber at this point. So
he kind of is. I think he'd actually be better on 205 Live at this point. He's not really doing much of anything here, except for losing.
Even with Flash Morgan Webster as a partner, he's still losing.
Oh, you mean Mark Andrews?
Yeah, sorry, Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
So I've got a bunch of notes here. We've got Flash Morgan Webster trying his best to take down Wolfgang off his feet. 2 suicidas, 1 to his back, which I don't know if I've ever seen that. That seems dangerous, but the barricades are real close to the ring here, so he just goes a foot and a half into the barricade. He's all right.
I'm wondering when some jerk's gonna say, "Hey, suicide dive is politically incorrect. Suicide's nothing to laugh at," and they're gonna have to change the name.
I'm sure they'd change the name and move on. And then he follows it up with a third, but over the top rope, forward flip.
Yep.
Con Hero onto Wolfgang. Then he gets him in the ring and he does a swanton to Wolfgang's back for a near fall. And then he goes for a 619 around the ring post, running down the apron.
Tiger Fang kick, yeah.
And he gets caught. And Wolfgang runs him back first into the ring post. And then a little bit of tussle on the outside. Then he picks him up and power bombs him into the ring post. And then onto the apron.
Yeah.
Rolls him back in the ring and then does his finisher, which is what did I call it? Twisting cradle neckbreaker suplex.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they called it, I forget exact, Nigel called it something.
The caper toss.
Yep, there it is.
And we took notes.
And then some aftermatch beatdown by Wolfgang on the man with 3 names, Flash Morgan Webster, and the ref tries to break it up, and I guess he slaps at the ref's hand or something.
He slaps the ref's hand out of the way, and I'm automatically thinking it's oh my god, if they're gonna do this, they need to do it right. If he's gonna go all out and get the decision reversed, that'd be even better because then he would laid even bigger, more vicious beatdown of Flash Morgan Webster afterwards. So not only would Flash Morgan Webster get the W, he still gets beaten down in the process and makes Wolfgang into an even stronger heel.
This is true.
I think that would have worked out a little bit better, but Wolfgang ended up just walking away. So.
Yep. So up next we've got Cassius Ohno in a video package / interview. Basically, he is now officially part of NXT UK. He has left NXT. They showed his promo about hating the crowd, basically.
I'm leaving.
It's your fault, I'm gone. See you, bye. And now he's in NXT UK as, I guess, the first ever American, signee.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to show the guys how to do British strong style better than they do it, apparently. Which, cool.
I'm excited for this because he actually looked there's a light in him in this promo that you haven't seen in weeks. With his feud with Matt Riddle, he just looked like he was just there to just more or less make a paycheck, and he looked more at ease and more at home in his match with Walter in Phoenix than he ever did his matches with Matt Riddle. He actually looked like he was having fun with it, and B, that he was actually, somewhat a feasible opponent for Walter at that point.
You think he's going to stop eating so many Chris Heroes and start getting his shit together now?
I think he's going to switch to baguettes.
Now, Mr. Birdman, what do you think about Cassius Ohno here? Is this a character change to you?
I think this is interesting. I think it makes sense for him to kind of transfer over. I think it's actually kind of something unique. I know we've probably seen with the main roster with Raw and SmackDown, but with Cassius Ohno actually has a reason to move over because there was really nothing left for him to do in NXT. He's kind of feuded with everyone there is to feud with, and I really don't think he's really main roster material right now. because I just think he fits the NXT umbrella better. And him going to NXT UK just kind of freshens up his character, and it gives him a chance to work with new people. I expect, before the next takeover, whenever that's going to get announced, we're going to get a title match with him and Pete Dunne to kind of, build up Pete Dunne, because I still think his role is going to be the same, where he's going to be mainly there to put people over, like the Tyler Bates, like the Trent Sevens and stuff like that, because that's kind of what his role has kind of been. But I'm very excited about this. I think he stands out too because he's the only American, in NXT UK that's a male. Because there was one, I don't even know if she signed to the NXT UK brand, but Deonna Purrazzo was in NXT UK.
Yeah,
I don't know if
true.
that was just like a two-match stint though, because we haven't seen her in.
But much like Cassius Ono points out here, she did a lot of her work overseas, so she feels like she's part of the European wrestling tradition, and so does he.
I did like too how he brought up how all these NXT UK guys talk about how they want to incorporate British Swan style, but yet they looked up to guys like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, and I looked up to, and I think he mentioned like actual like NXT UK guys probably, or like guys that wrestled in the UK, and he talked about how they were pretty much handed contracts based off something he started with. Oh no, that was somebody else. That was Noam Dar later on the show. So
yeah.
But my other thing about this is it actually makes a little more sense for Cassius Ohno to be over there. Because, yes, he is one of those purveyors of, like, the British strong style. So, maybe he is in the twilight of his career, and maybe this is how he's going to end it. He's going to finish in NXT UK and then become a trainer at the facility. I can honestly see that happening.
That's cool. So, up next we've got Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. And they come out for a tag team match, and we're basically like, okay, who are they putting over here? Are we going to see Wild Boar and the Primate?
Which we don't get to see for another week. The hunt does not begin until next week.
Nope. We've got another jobber tag team, Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley. So now we're like, who could possibly be winning this match?
I was about to say, it's like, okay, so we get the first match that we really, like, it was like a do-or-die situation, and we have this one. So,
but then now we remember, because I'm like, either of these teams, I know T-Bone and Huxley don't have a win.
No.
What about Williams and Jordan?
They won once.
They've had one win.
And that was the last match that they actually wrestled, I think, together as a tag team on the broadcast. So naturally, the announcers are putting it off as a hot streak.
So yeah, they win here. What do you think about the match, Owen?
Just kind of was there for me. It was, I don't care. The only guy I really care about in this match is Kenny Williams, but in my opinion, I think he could be on 205 Live doing a whole lot of better things than teaming up with Amir Jordan.
Oh, absolutely.
Amir Jordan, I don't really get the whole dancing thing and stuff. I never really get that when they try to win like a ninja and over and do that, so I don't really like Tyson T-Bone. I think he's just trash. And then, I don't really know how I feel about Saxon Huxley because I've only seen him like a handful of times. So this match was there for me. I was happy, I guess, that Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan got the win, but I don't really think they're going to get anything out of this. I just think they're going to... Actually, you know what they're probably going to do? They're probably going to put over, like, the NXT UK Tag Champs in, like, a squash, or, like, put over the hunt will begin with them next week. They're going to get destroyed. This was fine, but it just was there for me. I don't really like matches that are just there. It was just there.
That's a good point. Because you're making fun of the match more than anything.
I don't know. I've got more notes for this match than I do the women's match where Kaylee Ray debuts. I've got Saxon Huxley. Okay, so
the ultrasonic inspector.
So yeah, I was kind of making fun of Huxley and
T-Bone.
Because so they don't have moves. They just punch and kick and knees and this and that. But the moves they do, it's like, how do we make a suplex look devastating? How do we make... In this case, Saxon does a scoop slam. Kind of a throw, but still a scoop slam. And how do you make this look difficult? You suspend it. How do you suspend a scoop slam? You fail to get the person up for a proper scoop slam like 4 or 5 times, and then do it.
I thought that was a botch, honestly.
We're pretty sure it was, too.
So he tries to get him up just for that part. Like, literally 4 or 5 times before finally succeeding at throwing him. And then he tags in T-Bone, who does a suplex, a vertical suplex.
Vertical suplex.
But he suspends it, but not for very long. And it's like, these guys have no moves. In the meantime, Kenny gets
Williams.
a hot tag, and he comes in like a fucking tornado. A running bulldog into the turnbuckle was really cool looking.
That was really neat.
I've seen people do that before, and then he's got that wrecking ball drop kick on to the outside onto Huxley, but he holds on, skins the cat, and then him and Amir Jordan do stereo suicide dives to opposite sides of the ring to opposite guys.
Crossfire!
And then Williams throws, I think, Huxley back in the ring and does that wheelbarrow facebuster where he pauses and salutes before rolling through and bringing him down with the facebuster. And then Jordan goes up top with what they call the Swanton Bombay for the 1, 2, 3. Kenny Williams drop kicks T-Bone to the outside during the pinfall, keeping him from breaking it up. It was pretty good, man.
I'm going to tell you this right now. This is my feel-good moment of the night because, like, the second they get the pinfall, like, Amir Jordan just looks over at Williams like, we won? We won? And then they just put their fingers out like, two wins?
2 wins.
They tried to say they're 2-0 though, but they're not 2-0.
No, they're like 2 in a million, but it doesn't matter.
I was about to say they're still in the negatives in a win column, but still.
And they're on a streak, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
One more win and they'll be on fire.
But I was happy the faces won because I don't like.
Because right now they're heating up.
They're heating up.
I don't like Tyson. I don't like Tyson T-Bone. I honestly thought the guy got released. I was kind of hoping when I saw him come out, my day was ruined. So.
Oh.
This is good. They're going to get a win next week, and it's going to be an NBA Jam moment.
Yes.
So up next, we've got an interview with Jenny, which honestly could have happened right after the interview with Toni Storm last week, where Jenny appears behind her.
I think it probably did.
Basically, she says she's tired of hearing about Toni Storm. What she wants to focus on is the women's championship, and immediately, like, okay, but Toni Storm is the women's champion, and so you are focused on her, and like, yeah, completely contradicted yourself.
I was about to say, you completely contradicted yourself. We have nothing else to hear from you today.
Yeah, the rest of the interview was lost in the wind.
Pretty much.
What did you think about it, Owen?
It was fine. I kind of like that though. Going with that view because that makes sense because even though like she was mad at Toni Storm, I think like a month ago, didn't she just do a promo like talking about how she took away all this stuff from her, like the Mae Young Classic and won in the first round? So that was a bit weird. I feel like the promo maybe should have been different, but it was fine. I do like this feud. It just really seems like that it's just taking forever to get going. Because they're just kind of doing the little promos and stuff, but I bet it's going to pick up. I don't think Janie's going to take the title from her, just because I don't think she's a strong enough here to do so. I think Toni Storm should kind of, make that belt prestigious and kind of hold it. Not for long as Pete done, but, maybe like about 3 to 4 months or so.
Till the next takeover.
Till the next UK takeover, yeah.
However far off that is. So, what about you, Jerry?
I was with Jenny until she started contradicting herself, but even then I'm like, you're still cute, so we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna leave it at that, and you're eventually gonna beat Toni Storm, and you're eventually gonna become champion. But for right now, I can't stand the sight of you.
So up next we've got a promo from Eddie Dennis. He's up in the stands of an empty arena somewhere, maybe this arena, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he starts talking about Ligero. I can only assume that when he mentions he's going to have a match next week, it's going to be against Ligero.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he singles out Ligero. But he doesn't say that he's facing Ligero. He just singles him out, starts talking about why he's going to make him the first of a long line of victims.
He actually said he's going to face off against Ligero that next week.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
You sure?
I'm positive. That's why I make
you guys out there watch the show and tell me who's right, because I didn't hear it at all. I just heard him bring him up out of nowhere.
Owen, help me out here.
He did say he's facing
fuck.
Ligero next week.
Alright, so
that is why we have someone on the TV with us.
But I'm pretty sure he didn't say he was going to start with Ligero. I thought he said the victims were going to continue with Ligero because that's the vibe I got from it. Because,
well, the last time we saw him, he was the victim, so I would say Ligero needs to be what he considers first in a long line of them.
Here's the thing. I was really into the promo the entire time. Him talking about like Ligero is just a victim of circumstance at this point. He's at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's gonna just steamroll over him. But then he actually gave himself a nickname, the Malevolent Welshman.
Yeah.
This is retarded, man. He's coming off of being gone forever because that's how bad Mastiff beat him. Of course, we haven't seen Mastiff in a while either.
No.
Well,
That's probably because
The last match he had was against Primate J. Melrose. So
I think these Phoenix shows, we haven't seen a lot of these guys because they weren't sent over to Phoenix. But I also don't know who's going to win that match next week because Ligero's been kind of getting a push lately. So
right. Meanwhile, Ligero's got 2 wins over Joseph Connors, and he's on a hot streak.
And that's why I think Eddie Dennis and Joseph Connors will end up teaming up.
That'd be cool.
Maybe. Or Joseph Connors comes out and causes Ligero the victory.
Yep.
For his
maybe
own
Joseph
personal.
Connors and Cassius Ohno, because I did pitch that before. So.
Oh, with the shiny toys breaking them?
Breaking the shiny new toys together.
Kind of takes Joseph Connors in as almost like a student, like mentor-student kind of relationship.
Now, next we get a Noam Dar in-ring promo. This is where he announces that he too has been signed to NXT UK. He is here to stay. And we kind of get a weird babyface to heel turn mid-promo here.
Mm-hmm.
Because he talks about, this is where we get the announcement that next week they'll be in Glasgow, Scotland. And the crowd boos that, and he's like, "Oh, boo!" He's talking about a place that's not here.
That was so great.
That was brilliant. And then he talks about how he's 11 out of 10, I guess is his thing. And NXT has been pretty good. And they've been 4 out of 10 at best, though, and they need Noam Dar, and the Scottish Supernova is going to shine bright, blah, blah, blah. He mentions a few superstars that have gone over to 205 Live and gotten their asses handed to them and sent back. I think Flash Morgan Webster
and Kenny Williams, I believe.
And then he talks about Mark Andrews doing the same, getting his head beaten in by the champ, I guess.
It's skateboarding his way to the back.
And this brings out Mandrews, who takes exception to it and gets in his face, and Noam Dar kind of leaves.
Oh, he gets kicked in the head and he leaves.
Yeah.
But let that make anybody leave. It's kind of a common courtesy. You kick somebody in the head and they leave.
He goes for the handshake and then goes for the fake out punch. Mandrews ducks, catches one to kick, and then Noam Dar leaves. Because I guess this is his first feud. And I'm betting Noam Dar wins because Mandrews is on another of those famous losing streaks. What do you think about this, Owen?
I like this promo, and I even like how he brought up how he's pretty much the reason that there is an NXT UK division, because he tried to make it seem like he was tearing it up on Raw and 205 Live. He wasn't tearing it up on Raw, I'm going to tell you that much. But, he's a heel, he's allowed to...
I remember those.
He's a heel, though. He's allowed to say that type of stuff, though, because that's what heels, they're arrogant, so... But I really like the heel turn. I like that he's going to be fully part of the division now because, there's really nothing for him to do on 205 Live, really, and it's a nice, name you can add to NXT UK. So I don't really know if he's going to be as big of as a star, like as big a part of 205 Live now, because, he just got his head driven through the barricade by Tony Nese, so I think he kind of done on 205 Live. I think that was like his write-off angle. So,
pretty much.
And I even liked, how he took jabs at all of the NXT UK guys. I think Mark Andrews is a good place for him to start a feud. It is interesting, though, that he's going to be a heel in his hometown because it's typically not the easiest thing to get booed in your hometown. That, never happens. So I thought he would be a babyface. But I guess they're going to put him as a heel, which I actually kind of think he's a better heel anyways. I think he's just so brash and arrogant, I think, in real life, that I think he should be a heel in... wrestling, so...
I just look at the guy, I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. His heel one didn't go very well the first time, but there was, booking and writing issues that led to that, so... I feel like, he's in a better place where he's not going to have Alicia Fox there now, so...
Yeah. That is true.
Here's my other thing with this. So I'm gonna make it real quick so we can get on with the rest of the program. But the fact that like he's there now, and we also have Mark Andrew. That's even more talent that could be made put towards the European Championship.
Absolutely, we need a mid-card title.
It's like we have like the heavyweight title, and that's great, but we need we need that middle title.
And what better place to bring back the European Championship than NXT UK? Come on. So
bring it back.
Up next, we've got Xia Brookside in an interview somewhere in a training facility, I assume.
Yeah, it looked like it was in the Performance Center.
And she hates bullies, and the ultimate bully is Rhea Ripley, and so Rhea Ripley and Xia Brookside are officially in a feud.
Yep.
And any other notes, Jer?
Nope.
Any other notes?
No, it was fine. It's kind of a downgrade for Rhea Ripley to go into a feud with Xia Brookside, in my opinion, but...
but Brookside was dropping her family name here, there, and everywhere.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
She's a Brookside.
But she was just fighting for the... No, Rhea Ripley was just fighting for the belt, and it feels like it's kind of...
I know.
Oh, we totally agree with that. It's the fact that, like, Xia Brookside set her goals a little too high, going into this thing. I love the fact that she, like, hates bullies and everything, but there's bullies that are a little bit smaller and less established than Rhea Ripley at this point, and that she needs to be focusing on and not going after the Mosh Pit Kid at this point.
There's also real bullies out there and not people that are paid to act like bullies, because that's what wrestlers are. Heel wrestlers are just, that's the shit that they do is always stuff that, like, it's an act, folks. Like,
yes.
Well,
you should not bring the idea of bullies into wrestling, because it is just, like, they're all bullies. It's part of the act. Like, it makes no sense to talk about one person as a bully.
Well, I don't know. Me and my friends have this discussion about bullies all the time. We also talk about that it feels like there's like an age limit sometimes in bullying, because we talk about like you can't really be bullied like over the age of like maybe 20, like 23 maybe, because it gets to the point where what is it, I feel like there should be an age limit, because but we that's like a different video to
There's
talk about
all
that.
kinds of just psychosocial bullying that can occur at any age.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, I think once you get up to your late 20s, early 30s, you start getting to a point to where you don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Like, bullying doesn't work, like psychological bullying doesn't work anymore, even, because, like, you just don't care anymore. You're like, fuck you, man.
Because you're able to drink.
Yeah, like...
Well, it's I feel like too that's also like a tough thing to say because of social media now and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
That's what hardens people. But people that were seriously hardened in school before, all the anti-bullying stuff, they look at the social media stuff and they're like, yeah, whatever. Bunch of babies. But then you've got people that have been coddled for a lot of their life, because there's more awareness of how treating people can affect them as adults. And then they get to a place like the internet where there's no filter. There's no ability for somebody to step in and mediate, and they can't handle bullying on a technological level, and it gets very muddled.
Yeah.
But to bring that into wrestling is stupid. It's stupid, because all heels are bullies. Like, this is lazy writing, and I never thought I would say that about NXT UK.
Or NXT in general.
But yeah, this is lazy writing. I'm hoping this ends in a squash match where Rhea Ripley just dominates and moves on.
Exactly.
Hear, hear.
They leave behind the bullying bullshit. So up next, we've got a video package for the Wild Boar and the Primate, Jay Melrose.
The Hunt.
The Hunt begins up next week, right? Yeah. So we'll see him next week.
I'm really hoping they get the win, which I think they will, since they got the video package. And maybe they'll actually, like, because I don't think Hitchman has won a match since he's been there.
And I think he might have won.
He won like an enhancement match, but I don't remember who he beat.
Yeah, he won like one.
Oh, that's right, because what was it? Enhancement talents versus enhancement talents. We're like, okay, he's got to win this one.
Right, and he did. So up next, our third match of the night, we've got Candy Floss versus the debuting Kaylee Ray. And who didn't know Kaylee Ray was going to win? For me, this was the filler match.
Yeah. Actually, the tag match for me was the kind of like the filler match, even though it kind of progressed. Zach Williams and
That match was boring for 2/3 of it, but then took off once the Kenny Williams got the hot tag.
I said Zach Williams. I got Zach Gibson on the brain because later.
So this match for me, I have no notes till the end. We've got Kaylee Ray with a dude. She hits this sick chop onto Candy Floss, follows it with a super kick that they call a crescent kick, and then a gory bomb for the pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
Bing bam boom. Kaylee Ray wins her debut match. Surprise, fucking surprise. What'd you think about this, Owen?
It was fine. This wasn't really like the cool-off match for me because this match kind of had a purpose because it was a squash match and stuff, and you're building up Kaylee Ray for like her first big appearance. The tag match was just filler to me because I don't care about anybody in that match but Kenny Williams. So, and then I'm gonna keep saying it until like it happens. I really want to see Candy Floss and Zaya Brookside become a tag team because they just fit so well together. Like they have the same gimmick and everything.
They both got that bubbly personality, and they also pretty much look alike too. I mean, for God's sake, they matched.
I hear that out of Jerry every time we see either one of them.
Yeah, like I said tonight too. So yeah, I guess I just repeated successfully what you just said.
I'm all for it, but I mean, you're just stating the obvious here. I'm sure they know that these two belong together as a tag team, but until they either extend the tag team titles to NXT UK, there's really no point. Because anytime you have a tag team match, it's usually because two of the opponents are having a feud and the other two opponents are having a feud, some shit like that, or it's an enhancement match for two people on one side.
Well, I think the women's tag team titles are transferable because NXT UK and NXT kind of coincide with each other a little bit. So I think they can, they're probably not going to do it like the UK because, because Bayley and Sasha Banks had to fly to the UK and then fly back.
These chicks are 19 years old. I think they've got nothing but time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I liked Kaylee Ray too. I got my answer too because I wasn't sure if she was supposed to be a face or a heel from the vignettes, and I guess she's going to be a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope she's going to be like a hardcore wrestler, like Jimmy Havoc is in MLW, but probably like a lesser version of him because he doesn't fit like the WWE PG mode and stuff. Which I hope he comes to NXT UK someday, Jimmy Havoc, because he's from the UK. So.
What I also really like about this is the fact that if she is going to be heel, your four-person Gallus team actually may have gotten her woman.
Yeah, absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So up next, we've got a selfie promo from Mustache Mountain, which, if you watch NXT this week before you watch NXT UK, which I think is the order that they broadcast them in, Mustache Mountain's got a skewed timeline. Because they're talking about still having the match that already occurred in the semifinals of the Dusty Rhodes Classic against who is it?
NXT UK airs 3 p.m. Eastern time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Forgotten Sons.
Yeah, so it airs 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, so yeah, technically.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, but at this point, like
the order we watch it in didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
So. What did you think about the promo, Jerry?
I thought it was great because like we're finally anytime Trent Seven talks, I like listening to the guy. I don't like his in-ring work, I really don't, but I like watching him talk because he's got that like sage wisdom to him, and he's got that really swarmy, swarm, but he's got that kind of humor to him, and. You had Tyler Bate actually not call out Zach Gibson because Zach Gibson's got a broken toe, but he calls out Seth Green. He called out James Drake, and now we're going to begin that match probably within the next couple of weeks. It looks like because he's going to ask Saint for it.
Yeah, maybe in 2 weeks. We've got a pretty loaded card so far for next week.
No, they announced it next week. Sid Scala and Johnny Saint announced it for next week in the main event.
Oh. Really? Cool.
Yeah, he must have skipped it or something.
Well,
I actually watched this on the on WWE this YouTube channel. You can watch the full version of it, and it's actually pretty funny in the beginning because they were doing test checks and stuff, wondering if they were actually recording. It was pretty funny.
Cool.
I like
Oh,
this.
that's
I
right.
always
'Cause they
like to
said they were going to stop that live stream because like they had so many flubs at the beginning.
I always like to make the joke to how like Mustache Mountain must be like wizards or something because they can like go be in the UK if this is supposed live and then go all the way to Florida within the span of 5 hours. It's pretty.
Yeah, that's a brutal plane ride right there. Mach 3, baby.
But they must have to like take a rocket ship actually to get there.
Something.
Support, no DQ.
We are on to the main event. Tonight we've got the Coffee Brothers representing Gallus. We've got Joe and Mark versus Walter and Pete Dunne, the unlikely tag team. Mostly because at this point, who doesn't think Walter wants to beat up Pete Dunne and take the the WWE UK Championship? I have got a page worth of notes on this match because it was like a 20-minute fucking match. But before I break down all those spots, Owen, what did you think about the main event?
I really like the main event. My only criticism, I guess, is I wish the Coffee Brothers could have gotten maybe a little more offense than they did because I don't think they got much of the offense in this match. I think they got like about maybe 30% of the offense in the match, but I still really liked it. And I really liked how it's like slow tension to building up to that eventual WWE United Kingdom Championship match between Pete Dunne and Walter. I even like how you're probably gonna break this spot down where they did the like their like suplexes like on the apron simultaneously, but like looked at each other with disdain as they did it, and even like the symbolic of fear that Pete Dunne had in his eyes when Walter got the win, and showing like this guy could possibly take my championship, and even like when he stomped on his title, prevented him from getting it. I did think the Coffee Brothers looked pretty strong in this match, though. I just wish they would have gotten a little bit more offense. I think Joe Coffey looks good, and I expected Mark Coffey to eat the fall because he's like Joe Coffey's I think a little higher up on the totem pole because he was just in the main event of the first takeover of the brand. So yeah, I like the main event. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to watch. It was pretty cool to watch Pete Dunne and Walter work together because they're like enemies with each other and stuff. Something I did notice too, that it's a little off topic, but I didn't know the commentators were actually in the arena. I thought they were, like at Stanford actually like taping commentary over it, but they actually did like a bit with them there. I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, you can actually tell the difference in the sound quality of the announcers when they're in a studio recording over versus when they're in there live. Sometimes it's subtle, but usually you can tell the difference. And for the most part, they do the commentary there. There are spots in the show where they'll say something that it's done in a studio and you can tell, but not a lot. Jer, what do you think about this main event?
It's pretty much what I thought it was going to be, but like it could have gone two ways. One, Pete Dunne and Walter would have gotten along at all, and they would have been doing that begrudging tag thing, where like they would just kind of slap each other or whatnot to let each other in the ring. But it was very casual tags in and out, and a bunch of the anything you can do, I can do better like maneuvers. At one point, you had Pete Dunne do his the Baszler stomp, and then later he had Walter do the Baszler stomp, to which Dunne just kind of shrugged. But and that's something else I love about Pete Dunne. He's so great in the ring, but at the same time, he's such an asshole. Like he's so laid back about everything he does. It's just great, and like Owen said, like Gallus didn't get a lot of offense in this match. When they did, it was like just and Pete Dunne in the corner. Because, let's just face it, Walter's almost indestructible, it seems like.
I mean, Walter had some spots where he was...
Yeah, he had some issues, but they didn't do what you said what they should do, which was attack his legs, bring him down. Because if you attack his legs and you attack his back, there's less risk of being the victim of, what was it called? That powerbomb movie.
Oh, Nummer Eins.
Nummer Eins. But I actually saw the match ending differently in my head, but I don't want to get into that just yet. I want to hear everything that led up to, and the finish to the match.
All right, let's go for the breakdown. As you mentioned, Dunne does the Baszler stomp. I believe this was on to Mark.
Yep.
And Walter wants the tag, so he tags him in. Walter comes in, and he duplicates the Baszler stomp.
Yeah.
And then Mark ends up, I think, chopping Walter in the corner, pisses him off. Walter no sells. And then Mark starts dancing around the ring to get away from him, and Joe tags in. So he comes in, and Pete Dunne wants the tag. So he gets the tag, and he does the fucking Baszler stomp. And then Walter wants the tag, so he gets a tag, and instead of duplicating the Baszler stomp, what I have called the Jesus chop. Because when he hits this chop, and I think it was Joe, Jerry was like, Jesus! And then Mark comes in, and he catches a chop, and it's the same thing. Jesus Christ. Holy cow.
Yep.
And then we got those stereo apron suplexes where Dunn does the X-Plex and Walter does the throwing belly-to-back suplex onto the apron. And then, let's see, Dunn does a middle rope drop kick, but he hits Joe in the knee.
Sends him flipping.
It sends him flipping forward onto his back. That was pretty awesome. Walter gets the hot tag after Dunn gets worked over. Like, he goes for the running off the rope spot, and he goes to jump over, I think it was Mark, and Joe catches him, or maybe it's the other way around, catches him with a deadlift German when he goes for that jump over. And this puts Dunn down. But then Walter gets the hot tag, and he does a bunch of shit, including a hell of a kick in the corner, and then a seated senton that gets him a near fall. Just a running seated senton. He didn't come off the ropes or nothing. Just onto, I think it was Mark's chest. And then Joe hits Walter with a German. How that happened, I don't know. But he hits him with a German, and he gets up and he goes for that all raw best for the bells, but Walter counters into an exploder suplex for a near fall. And then Pete comes in and counters a springboard attack by somebody with a fucking forearm. It was just wicked looking. And then he comes off, goes out to the apron, comes off the middle with a moonsault to both guys on the outside. And then he gets back in the ring, and somehow he ends up getting taken out with a Polish hammer by Mark. And then Walter gets the blind tag, comes in, drop kick to Mark into the corner, butterfly suplex for a near fall. And then Walter puts Mark in a Boston Crab. This is where Dunn goes to take out Joe on the outside, but Joe catches him, throws him into the barricade. He gets in and he lays in some chops on Walter while he's got the Boston Crab on. Walter no-selling the chops.
Screams at him.
Then he gets up, ends up following Mark up to the top rope, but Joe catches Walter and gets him in a electric chair. Best I can call this is a doomsday hair grab, because Mark comes off the top and he doesn't really touch much of Walter other than to kind of rub his head.
He's like, nuggy, nuggy, nuggy.
Not even a nugget, just a hair grab. But Dunn breaks up the pin attempt. Let's see. Joe is on the apron, and Mark gets put in the sleeper by Walter. So Joe reaches in and pulls Mark towards the ropes, trying to help him out of this sleeper, but gets pulled over the ropes, like dangling like a fucking like a draping something, draping fill in the blank. But he comes back down, and he turns around. And now Mark is grabbing him around the waist while Walter's grabbing Mark around the waist, and we see what's coming here. Joe grabs the ropes though to try and prevent it, and Pete Dunne gets up on the apron and pulls Mark's hand up and does that wishbone, which jolts the pain, and then Walter comes in with a double Austrian suplex. We call it the German suplex by him, the Austrian suplex. But yeah, a double German. Fucking wow. And then, God, where the fuck am I? Let's see. We get a dueling Kimura lock and sleeper by Pete Dunne and Walter, but then Joe picks up Pete Dunne out of the Kimura lock into a suplex and lands him on Walter. And then this is where Joe brings the title into the ring, but Dunne ends up kicking him out of the ring. Title drops, and then we get a stare down between Pete Dunne and Walter. And then Mark grabs the title and goes to hit Pete Dunne in the back of the head, but Walter goes for a big boot, and Dunne just barely dodges out of the way. Mark catches the big boot, then gets the powerbomb number 1, what I call the Nummer Eins, which is number 1 in German, and 1,
Not
2, 3.
Austrian.
Yes, there's no such thing as Austrian as a language.
But then, as Owen alluded to, like Pete Dunne went to go pick up his belt, Walter steps right on it.
Well, it just so happens the belt gets laid out in the middle of the ring.
In the middle of the
almost
ring.
perfectly. And we get a stare down between Pete Dunne and Walter right over top of the belt. And then a pose down. And then Pete Dunne goes to pick up his belt and Walter steps on it. Prevents him from picking it up. And when Pete Dunne stands back up like, I'm about to punch your face in, Walter reaches down, picks up the belt, takes a good hard look at it, and then hands it to Pete Dunne. And leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete Dunne's standing there, and now his music's playing. And that's the end of the main event. That's the end of the show. We didn't get a confrontation, really. No blows were thrown. But this is coming.
It's simmering.
And that brings us to the end of the main event. Any final thoughts before we rate this sumbitch?
I even liked when they, after they even did the suplexes, they did their taunts to each other, biting each other's face. I thought that was awesome. And I don't know if you mentioned it, but there was a botch in this match where, they do the typical spot where, the guy that's smaller tries to pull the ropes down.
Yeah.
And, Walter's supposed to go out of it win, but I think there was a mess up there because Walter actually, hit the turnbuckle, eye first.
No, he hit the rope. And they played it off like he hit the rope hard on his face, and he rolled over into the corner. And I guess he figured that was a decent enough spot for him to hang out for a while. Without looking like he totally botched it.
Well, I was about to say he had the blood all over his face for the rest of the match to actually show that he had botched it. So it was a reminder.
And then I even like how Nigel McGuinness, it was a great call by him, even questioned, was Walter aiming for Pete Dunne, or was he going to save Pete Dunne from getting hit with the belt? So
it was obvious by the second camera angle that he saw the belt smash coming, and he was protecting Pete Dunne. But if he had caught Pete Dunne in the crossfire, I don't think he would have cared.
No.
Yeah.
And at one point, Vic Joseph actually said that Joe Coffey was being pinned, and it was Mark Coffey. So that was towards the middle of the match. I'm like, oh, Vic Joseph, you silly bastard.
You ignorant slut.
You ignorant slut, Vic Joseph.
So, here on the NXT party, we rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. You've noticed our new mugs. These, thanks to Jerry, care of Steph. Thank you, Steph. She got these at Epcot. It's amazing. So, around these parts, we rate out of 5 spots of NXT. And as our special guest, Owen, you get to go first. How do you rate this main event?
I didn't think it was a great main event with the match, and I also like, the setup of Pete Dunne and Walter. And, if we kind of use this to kind of grade the show too, I thought it kind of came off on the back burns of a kind of, in-between show. While some of the stuff was good, but it was getting to the kind of point where it was getting to be an episode where you could kind of skip it and not really miss anything up until the main event. So I'll give it 4 spots of T.
4 spots of T. It's pretty good. What about you, Jerry?
I'm with him on the rating of 4 spots, but what really impressed me in this match, and I guess it's one of these things that just kind of shoved under the rug a little bit, Mark Coffey was actually very, very impressive in this match. He has put on solid performances in this matches that he's had. His singles match with Walter was actually really good as well. But with the main event was great. It was exactly what we thought it was going to be. But my finish that I would have had for the match would have had Joe Coffey landing his All-Raw Vestra Bells to Walter's chest, and Walter being completely unfazed by it, but Joe Coffey, spinning around with his arm hurting, and Pete Dunne locking in the arm bar and then doing the wishbone to the fingers while still staring down Walter at the same time. Either way, the match could have ended beautifully that way or the other way. But either way, we knew Walter and Pete Dunne were going to win this match. But coming off of the show where it's we had different stories being built. We had saw some extra promos. Xia Brookside's thing was just about pointless, and so will the match be. Sorry, but performance-wise and everything out of this main event, I'm gonna give it 4.
I think it was good, but not great. It wasn't the best story they could tell, building up the heat between Walter and Pete Dunne. It's not the best story they could tell, building the heat between either of those guys and Gallus.
Sadly, they could have taken notes from the tag match from last night in NXT.
I watching the Dusty Rhodes Classic, 6 matches deep so far.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one more to go, and then the tag title match at Takeover. Like this tag team match has a lot to live up for me.
Yeah.
Over the last few weeks, and I can't agree with 4 spots. I'm gonna go 3 3/4. Because it was really good, but it wasn't.
I figured that's what you were gonna go with. I knew, like, I saw the wheels turning. It's like it was good, but it just wasn't great.
Even the story of the "I can do this better than you" or whatever, it wasn't throughout the match necessarily, and
so it was really.
It was okay.
Good.
It's okay. But I wouldn't put it in 4 stars or better. So I'm gonna top it out at 3 3/4.
See Noam Dar, you see what you've done to him?
I'm gonna lowball it. Noam Dar's promo was awful. Honestly, I was not really a big, other than the spot where he made fun of the crowd booing the fact that he talked about.
After that, I kind of tuned out myself until you started name dropping, because I knew somebody was going to come out.
This show was okay. I mean, I think it was skippable up until that point, but even still, 3 3/4. So let's get into the plugs. Owen, where can we find you?
So you can find me on my 3 YouTube channels. First one being CM Brothers. Me and my cousin occasionally do wrestling predictions where he tries to predict the wrestling product. When he's never watched it before, he's never predicted well. So Jerry's kind of pulling a U, except he's never watched any type of wrestling before. Let's see how he does on NXT though. He might do
low there, Owen.
And then Owen the Talkinator, you can check me out there. By the time you see this on NoDQ.com, if you watch it that way, you should see Breaking Bad Season 4 Episode 9 review, if all goes according to plan, but we'll see. And then obviously Wrestling Fortune 44. Me and Noah are going to be doing possibly, if you can do it, Sunday the Wrestling Rundown, and James the Archangel if he's feeling better. And then obviously we're going to do the Retro Wrestling Review Series. Again, we have a crap load of those coming out. It's going to be WrestleMania 23, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, the first one, and then obviously either WrestleMania 219, because we got to do a bad show, so we can see what a bad WrestleMania looks like, or, this year's WrestleMania, so we can really judge it. So, got some stuff planned coming up, MLW reviews, Lucha Underground Season 2 reviews, so a lot of stuff in the works. Awesome. And then also you can check me out on Instagram, Finch Owen, because we got live Instagram videos that will be posted every day during March Madness, so that way I can have my sports type of fun since I don't watch basketball. So it's going to be March 19th to whatever. I think it's like April 19th, like whenever March Madness ends. So there you go. That's everything.
So check out Owen on his channels. He is the current NXT predictions champion.
And the Wrestling Rundown predictions champion, too.
All right.
Dual champion.
So speaking of which, I am the former No DQ, Team No DQ predictions champion. Yeah, I didn't do so good with the intro match, or the first match of the night, and I didn't get Black and Ricochet to win the Raw Tag Team titles. I was hoping that would put me a point ahead of everybody, but instead it put me a point behind of everybody that picked all the obvious.
I was going to say, that was your ballsy move for that night, and it just kind of kicked you in them.
Yeah, I still wouldn't have won because I didn't get the prediction for the first match.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought it'd be The Miz and Shane anyway, so there's no way I would have gotten that right anyway.
Yeah.
But if you'd like to be up on the big screen and join us for a spot of NXT, and help us review a future episode of NXT UK, you can find me on Twitter. Just go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's Stefan.
He's out pointing to it.
And if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, Osborne. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find this gentleman on Twitter.
At NoDQ General, and also on my Facebook group Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR, exclamation point. And go ahead and find us there. We'll go ahead and get you in there. We have a bunch of memes, different discussions going on all around the wrestling world, really. So, and I've also started doing Armbar Radio here and there. So,
and if you like our videos, you should click the like button that's underneath me. If you like all of our videos, you should click the subscribe button that's underneath Jerry. So like, subscribe, share as well if you know anybody that likes wrestling, and especially NXT UK or NXT. We do What's NXT yesterday. That came out.
Or the word fuck. Sometimes you say fuck.
Yeah, we say fuck a lot. That's why it's restricted.
Mm-hmm.
Share it with your friends. If you'd like to get these videos half a day early, we post them first to our channel, Aftermatch Wrestling. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. And we are on the drive to 100 subscribers. We got a new one today. We're at 56.
Yes, one at a time.
One at a time. At 100 subscribers, we're going to start doing, at the very least, What's NXT Live.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't decided on the NXT party officially.
It would be difficult with the layout that we have, but
yeah. Plus, I feel like having questions from fans is better suited for when it's just me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So. Anyway,
probably have everybody chime in and during the group chat or whatnot at the same time.
In that vein, we have started putting out original content on Aftermatch Wrestling. We are getting ready to record another episode of the Rated R Report. We're going to be doing that with Owen, where we just fucking talk wrestling. Just nothing's off limits. There is no format.
Nothing is off limits.
Nothing official. We don't even do plugs. Like, it's just like 30 minutes to an hour or more of talking weird wrestling shit and a lot of fucking controversy. Seriously, if you want to talk wrestling controversy, go watch the old episodes of the Rated R Report. There's only like 4 of them. So we'll be doing
the last one towards the end. It gets really controversial.
Yes. So help us on our drive to 100 subscribers. At 100, we feel like we could do it live really late on a Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and we might get a couple of people that can watch and ask us questions to answer at the end. So go to nodq.com for all your wrestling news and rumors. Go to nodq.com/shirts to get wrestling t-shirts for nodq.com. I have one. It's orange. It's awesome. For the Birdman of Boston, Owen Finch.
The soon-to-be former champion.
I'm going to get that title back. For the General, Jerry Slaughter. I am, of course, the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne, and thanks for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.
Sure, yeah.